As you're filing in, hello, feel free to make comfortable wherever you want to. I'm not even you can keep the music going a little longer. I just want to let people know we will have some stuff on the slideshow, so feel free to pull your chairs out. I mean, there's all this space right here. If somebody wants to pull a chair out to see better or something, I just want to give you permission to do that. We'll start shortly, but thank you. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt your conversations. We'll start soon.
Well, I want to thank everybody for coming here. What? My name is Lori Tomzak, and I'm here to welcome you all to the 5th Bent Pine Publishing Journal Outbreak, whatever you want to call it. We're all happy to be here and so glad to see so many of you here. I am a student. This is my second year, but I only do off and on. I'm not a full-time student or anything like that. I'm enjoying being here with the young people and being stimulated, and I encourage anybody that, no matter what age, go back to school if you want. Want to welcome all the artists and the writers who got something published, and for everybody that even just entered anything. We appreciate it so much. Everybody, if they can see me on YouTube, make sure you all know we appreciate you coming that way as well. Just help yourself to any of the snacks, beverages. We've got stuff over there for you. And everybody, if you did enter into the Bent Pine, you will get a journal. Just have to go to the back and sign for it, and you'll get it. We're going to have additional journals for sale for $20. Right now, we're only offering one per person. We're going to kind of wait and see how many we've got ready. And with that, I would like to thank the Vice President of Administrations, that's Kari Christensen, and the CLC Bookstore for helping make all this stuff happen for us. We do appreciate it. And now I'm going to turn everything over to Brandy Lindquist, and she's the leader of the Bent Pine, so thank you.
Thank you. As Lori said, we have food. Get up during the presentation today. It's relaxed, so if you need to come and go, grab a bite to eat, please do that. And as she mentioned, we have the books in the back, too. You're free to pick one up if you have just come in and you want to go grab yours, and we have those for sale, too. I'm Brandy Lindquist. I'm an English instructor here at the college and faculty advisor to the Bent Pine Journal Club. Thank you, Lori Tomzak. Lori has been such an inspiring contributor. I visited Casey Hochhalter's art class back in the fall looking for people to join the club, and Lori stepped up and came to every meeting and has been really encouraging and a steady voice of wisdom and reason for the club and to the other peers there in that club. We're going to hear a poem also from Lori later today. She's published in the journal as an artist and a writer. Thank you also to Jennifer Yu and Consolidated Management for catering, and the bookstore, and Crystal Smith helping us to sell Bent Pines, and Kari Christensen helping to set that up. Brent Balmer is on videography, so we can stream this on YouTube, and it will be available after the fact. So if anybody wants to share this with a relative after, you can find it on CLC's YouTube page and share it with someone after the fact. And to Mark Lindquist, my husband back there, for the music. I appreciate that today. Thank you so much. Today's agenda, again, thanks to Lori, is about till 4 o'clock, and this is what we're going to be doing. I have just a very brief introduction, and then we will have a little art talk from 8 different artists sharing very briefly, and then we'll announce our art winners and writing winners, and then we'll have a short reading, and then we'll wrap things up super quick after the reading, and then our art show, our slideshow, will repeat at the end as well. We may go a little over 4, but we always seem to cut it right at 4, but I I never know a little bit. It's a little unpredictable as we're sharing today. We have a lot of different people sharing. If you need to leave, it's 4 o'clock and we're wrapping up a couple of readers. Feel free to leave if you need to, and I hope you can stay with us to wrap up the event shortly after 4, if not by 4 o'clock. If you don't know anything about bent pine, I just have a visual here to explain very briefly that this was a journal that was here back at the Brainerd Junior College in the 1960s. And as far as I can tell, they published maybe 7 issues. I discovered one at an old bookstore and discovered that it existed. And the English department, we worked together to bring this back in 2020. Right amidst the pandemic is when we published our first volume. And so the top shows our newer volumes and the bottom shows our older journals from the 1960s, just to get a little bit of that history, and we had really a 50-year hiatus between the past and the present. This is our 5th volume, our 5th year, our 5th event, and one of our beloved staff members, Amy Matter-Hines, are you out there? Right in front of me. I didn't get to say hello before. Amy Matter-Hines has been in all 5 journals. I would like to invite Amy Matter-Hines to the podium to start our event with a poem. She's always so encouraging about the publication. She is our foundation assistant here at CLC and has worked at CLC for almost 26 years. She was a student at Brainerd Technical College and Brainerd Community College, earning 2 degrees before she got her bachelor's from South Dakota State University, Brookings. And she's a self-proclaimed nature freak, which we see in her poetry and art. She loves the outdoors, going to car shows, and riding shotgun in her and her husband's 1973 Toyota Land Cruiser FJ40. Please welcome Amy Matter-Hines, 5-time bent pine published artist, to read Conifers, Evergreens, and Pines to get us started today.
Conifers, evergreens, and pines. Coniferous trees produce cones and have needles. Minnesota pines. The tall white pine tree, slender, greenish-blue needles, flexible and soft. The scraggly jack pine, short, stout, olive-green needles, stiff, slightly twisted. Norway pine, red pine, dark yellowish-green needles, snap when they are bent. Minnesota grown, conifer, evergreens, pines, white, jack, Norway pine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amy. The next slide shows an image on the right-hand side. This comes out of an old yearbook from the 1960s, and that is the Bent Pine Club putting together the journal. You'll notice the typewriters, which is something we thankfully don't have to work with now as we're putting together the journal. We have a graphic design program with high technology to do the work of printing. But that's the club on the right-hand side. And just like in the 1960s, Bent Pine is driven by a student club and student voices. And they are essential to this project. They make this project. Dashiell Moreland, I'm going to invite Dash up to the podium, has been active in Bent Pine for 2 years and is now the Bent Pine Journal Club president. Dash is an excellent problem solver and has a keen eye for picking out well-written sci-fi and fantasy. Come on up. Stories, which he also enjoys writing. He is completing his AA at CLC in the near future and plans to transfer to study sociology. I have so enjoyed working with Dash. He's such a positive vibe in our club. Please welcome Dash to the podium to read his short note from this year's publication, which you can find at the beginning of the journal. Thanks, Dash. You probably know where it is. I think it's right, very beginning.
When reviewing the submissions for this year's journal, I was once again astounded by the creativity of the students here on campus. Art is often thought of a talent only a few people are born with, but the sheer variety of people and perspectives within class in this present journal prove otherwise. It makes me happy to see the sheer amount of imagination my fellow students possess and their effort to bring their visions into reality. Half of the joy art provides to the world is given to the creator who put the time and effort into the painstaking process of sifting through ideas and refinement of their work. Not to be cliche, but it is a journey of creating art, not the final product, which makes an artist and defines what their work truly is. The flashes of inspiration in the mind as the mind wanders or considers a problem in the process are the moments that give reason to art beyond getting an idea down on the canvas or page. I hope that as you read through this journal, you consider the effort everyone who has submitted, whether they made it or not, has put into their process. If you are reading this as someone who has submitted to the journal, I hope you are able to take the moment to reflect on the journey that brought you to your creation and consider the future creative trails you may take from this point forward.
Dash, you can stay up here. Dashiell Moreland, thank you so much for serving as Bent Pine Club president. If you'll stay up here, I just want to introduce the rest of our club and honor them today for the work they've done. Dash was the president of a great group of students who met weekly to make this journal happen, and I want to acknowledge and celebrate them now before we hear from our art sharers. These Bent Pine Club members wanted to make our students at CLC have an outlet, a creative outlet like the Bent Pine, and they have worked really hard to encourage peers to submit work, to actually select the work, and then to put together this publication. So if I could have those club members come up. We have our Vice President, Kylie Larson, who can't be with us today, but I know you're watching on YouTube. Kylie, thank you for your leadership. We have also joining us Secretary Lori Tomzak, Treasurer Jenna Jensen, members Jesse Engen, Joelle Kelly, and Carolyn Nix, and also our guest student judge, Jennifer Fryer. Could you join us too? Please help me to thank these students for serving on Bent Pine Club. Thank you guys. Thank you all so much. And you guys can have a seat. Thank you for serving. I really appreciate it. Thank you for acknowledging them. They've been great to work with. Bent Pine takes a large team beyond the club to make it happen and be successful. It's really a collaboration of students, staff, and faculty in a lot of small nooks around campus. For the sake of time, I'll point you to the acknowledgments at the beginning of the journal where we try to thank everybody who has contributed in some way. There's many listed there who've contributed and deserve gratitude, including Casey Hochhalter and Bruce Furman of the art department, the entire English department, and Leon Dalvang and graphic design. It is because of this that we actually were honored. We found out in the fall, we were able to score a second place national award for best magazine at a community college, and it really is that team effort. We've been fortunate enough to receive an award for every issue, but this was the first time winning a national award, so that was just a real honor to the students who've been involved and who've submitted their work there. This recent national placement can be hugely attributed to the work of CLC instructor Leon Dalvang, who's probably down printing something on the printer right now in the print shop, getting ready for graduation. And his graphic design program and print shop, this is Leon here. Our biggest thanks is to graphic design, Leon Dalvang, who puts many hours into design, layout, numerous updates. He sends me an update, we proof back and forth. And for printing the journal. It took a lot to print the 150 copies that we have. So I would just like to take a moment. I am going to ask you to probably clap a lot today. I appreciate you playing along. Join me in thanking Leon and CLC's graphic design department today before we hear from our art sharers. Thank you. Great. Thank you so much, Leon. So we'd like to hear now from 8 different visual artists who will be sharing briefly about one of their pieces published in Bent Pine. Artists, there's going to be an image of your piece on the slide. Again, if you're trying to see too, feel free to pull your chairs out, walk around, get up if you need to. Please feel free to share a bit about the making, the process, the inspiration, the content, whatever you feel inspired to share about your piece. I'll introduce each artist separately, and we'll keep this about I don't want it to be too much the time police, but we'll try to keep this to about 2 minutes or so per artist. And you may just have a seat when you're done sharing, and then we'll introduce the next artist. We're so grateful for your presence here today. Thank you. And again, please help yourself to beverages throughout this presentation. Our first art sharer is Gavin Gast, a second-year CLC student. Yeah, come on up, Gavin. He's a second-year CLC student and pitcher on the Raiders baseball team. Yes, I love that. Who will soon transfer out to play more baseball and earn an engineering degree. And in spring of 2023, I did a little research, Gavin. He achieved placement on the MCAC All-Academic Team by the Minnesota College Athletic Conference. He says that he takes drawing classes as a stress reliever from other school and sports-related stress. So Gavin is going to share a little bit about his drawing and took some time out of his busy baseball schedule to share about his drawing early morning. Thanks, Gavin.
So this piece was an older one that I actually completed my senior year of high school. It was still life done with charcoal and chalk, and the inspiration came from the many mornings that I've spent during the summertime out fishing with family members, friends, and just all the memories that have come from that. Thank you.
Thank you, Gavin. Let's welcome then Kate Hagelin, a senior PSEO student. She loves playing lacrosse and rowing and plans to attend St. Cloud State University in the fall for physical education and health. And this is her second year at CLC and Kate's second time in the journal and second time sharing. Last year she shared about an essay about her dad's truck, right? And now we're going to talk about her beautiful photo, Yanta. Thanks for joining us again, Kate.
Okay, so this is my dog Yanta, and we do a lot of competing they're called field trials, and you go hunt for birds and stuff like that, and he is my bird dog, and I run him a lot, and this was actually taken in Escanaba in Michigan, and we were getting ready to run in 30 minutes after this, so we were just kind of taking pictures with the bird because I really like the way the feathers look on that ripple right there, and I just thought he looked really pretty.
Thank you so much, Kate. Now, Joelle Kelly, a member of Bent Pine Journal Club, who has also been involved in many theater productions, including CLC's recent production of Something Rotten, will say a few words about her painting Lost. Come on up, Joelle.
Okay, I painted this my senior year last year, and it's a collage, and if you can see, the pages are folded in, and it's because I get lost in a book, so that's kind of my inspiration. And during the production of actually doing this, it was actually I gridded a picture of myself. It was something with different angles and stuff, and it was really hard to draw the boots. I don't know how I did it pretty good, I guess. So yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you, Joelle. Our next sharer is Erin Wilmot, an academic advisor at CLC and creator of this lovely photo, Tropical Stars. She explains that when not juggling the futures of all her students or attending CLC basketball games, she loves to read, spend time with her kids and dogs, knit or crochet, and this next part got a little email exchange going back and forth between the two of us, and build whatever Lego set she found during her, quote, bi-weekly emotional support trip to Costco. Please welcome Erin.
The last one was a bouquet of roses, in case anybody was wondering. It was great. So I have spent a significant chunk of my life fighting. I'm going to let you wonder about that. Fighting for something, fighting to accomplish something. And in the more recent years, I was recently in a long-term fight that I finally decided it was time to drop the rope on. So that futile game of tug of war was over, and with dropping that rope, also dropped a lot of dreams I had for the future. And so then I happened to find this flower here while I was on a mountaintop in Puerto Rico, one of those dropped dreams having come to life unexpectedly this past fall, and I just found it to be the perfect representation of the fact that there was a lot of hard stuff that had gone on in the dropping of the rope and the fighting and all of those things. But then here I was on top of a mountain, which the drive was terrifying. But there I was on top of that mountain, and on the top of that mountain was this beautiful pink flower, and the sun was just right because it was kind of an overcast day. I got a minute, and it illuminated that little star in there, and I thought it was just the perfect visual representation of, stuff's hard, but you find the good stuff in it.
Thank you so much, Erin. Emily Roberts. Is Emily here today? No, Emily Roberts? Okay, thank you. we'll look at Emily's piece anyway. Emily had this photo here called Beyond Pain. But we'll move to our next sharing artist today. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Emily, wherever you are. Sorry you couldn't be here. Carolyn Nix. I'm so glad you're sharing today, Carolyn. Has had many art pieces published in Bent Pine this year and last year. She's an art transfer pathway student who plans to pursue graphic design in the future. She enjoys making ear cuffs and yoga, video games, anime, and experimenting with art. Today she'll share about her updated self-portrait. Thank you, Carolyn.
Hi, everyone. So this was to track my progress. It's done with graphite, and then I found this cool mixed media like stick, and that's where the color is. I thought it was really cool. I don't have much else to say about that, but thank you, everyone.
If you want to see some of Carolyn's other pieces, they're in last year's award-winning journal, and then she has a few pieces in this current journal as well. Thanks, Carolyn. Gabe Kramer is a second-year student getting his AA degree and transferring for a biology degree. He has always enjoyed different forms of visual arts, such as drawing and painting, and has recently been getting more into writing poetry. Today, he'll share about his piece, Chapter Ever After.
This piece was for a drawing class, and we're supposed to like cite at least 50% of it with like a citing stick, and I definitely didn't do that. I think the only thing I cited was the book, but got a good grade on it. I had the most fun with the background. I worked on it for like 6 hours straight without stopping. I was locked in. It was a lot of fun, and it was supposed to show like the different chapters in life and like the good and bad ones and how they're both equally important. And, like, we need both of them. They teach us different things, and, like, they're meaningless without each other. We need both of them, and just what you can learn from it. So.
Thank you so much, Gabe. Michaela Mikey Williams is our last presenting visual artist this afternoon. Mikey, I hope you'll be okay with me sharing, has a baby girl due in the fall, and congratulations. So she'll be taking a semester off before returning spring of 2025. She hopes to go to the Oregon Institute of Marine Biology. I love hearing about our students' plans. It's so inspiring. When she's done at CLC, she explains that her main passions in life include anything that can be found in the ocean or on the seashore. And Mikey will share about her piece, Coral Reef.
I made this for my first ceramics class that I took here. I'm in the advanced ceramics class right now, or the intermediate, whatever it is. This piece took a really long time just because there's so many small moving parts on it, but honestly those were probably my favorite part of it, is I got to just sit there, listen to some music, and make itty-bitty barnacles and stick them all over things. The glaze didn't quite turn out how I wanted it, but I think it kind of has a little bit of its own life to it, even though it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. I grew up in Southern California, so the ocean has always been a big inspiration for everything I've done, and I think that's not going to change anytime soon.
Thank you so much, Mikey, and thanks to all of the artists for sharing today and for submitting work to Bent Pine. We're so grateful. And this is just a list of all the names of the students who were published in Bent Pine. And now we're going to move to our Faculty Selection Awards, first for visual art and then for writing. And I'd like to invite Jesse Engen up to announce the 2024 Visual Art Faculty Selection Awards. Jesse Engen has been in several volumes of Bent Pine, and he's been an active member, active club member this year and last year as a student guest judge. He's also presented up here before about his art, and he's been published several times in the journal. He's an awesome contributor and student. And once the winners are announced for visual art, if you could come up to the front until all art winners are announced. We're going to hand you something too. We have an extra journal and t-shirt for you, which Jesse will remind you of too. So please welcome Jesse to announce and share our art winners today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Brandy. Hello, my name is Jesse Ingen. I'm a member of Bent Pine Club. And today I will be introducing the 2024 Bent Pine Faculty Selection Awards for Visual Art. I want to say thank you to all of the artists who submitted their work to Bent Pine. The CLC art faculty select a cover winner and 3 faculty selection awards. If the winners are in attendance, please come on up, and when we read your name, you can stay until all the art winners are announced. Each winner, like Brandy said, will receive $100 mailed in May, a second copy of Bent Pine, and a Bent Pine t-shirt. The first 2024 Faculty Selection Award goes to Gavin Gast for his drawing Early Morning. Our next 2024 Faculty Selection Award goes to Jody Kramer for her photo Dazzling Delphinium. Our third 2024 Faculty Selection Award goes to Jody Kramer for her photo, repeat that over. Our third 2024 Faculty Selection Award goes to Mary Stewart for her painting, Try Being a Little Less Hard on Yourself. And last but not least, the 2024 cover winner is Sally Odland for her pottery piece by Ophelia. Congratulations. Please join me in applauding our winners one more time. Our winners may be seated now. Thank you. I now invite Bent Pine Club member Joelle Kelly to the podium to introduce the writing winners. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Joelle. I'll be in. I'm short. I'll be introducing the 2024 Faculty Selection of Writers. And again, thank you to everyone who has sent out anything, or in general, just sending out. So they're the 3 faculty winners. For the writing ones, again, come up here and then wait to be, thing. Our first 2024 faculty selection is Andrew Stone for his poem Sizzling Dream. The second one is Ivy Matichek for the poem Hope for Two. And then the last one is for Dolly Peterman for her fictional story, Whispering Like a Scent of Pine. And she was not able to make it here today, but let's have applause for her. And congratulations for these winners. And you can be seated. And now we will have Brandy come back up.
Thank you, Joelle. And to, again, everyone who submitted work. we're always so excited to see everything that comes in, and we know it takes a little courage to get it in, so we appreciate that. So congratulations to everybody who submitted, everybody who got in the journal, and to our Faculty Selection Award winners, thank you. Boy, that moved along so quickly. Look at that, it's 3:30. Thank you all for sharing, and now we're going to have plenty of time for our readers, so just relax and read your work, and we have plenty of time. Thank you so much. This just lists everybody who was published as a writer in this issue, this volume of our Bent Pine. So we are going to wrap up today by hearing from 7 writers published in the Bent Pine, reading one poem or a short excerpt from a piece. Readers, please feel free to set up your piece a bit if you'd like. If you don't want to and you just want to come up and share your title and read, we can do that too. We have plenty of time for all 7 to fit in, and I'll introduce each writer separately. And so we're going to start with Lori Tomczak, who you met at the beginning of today's event, a CLC student who has returned to college after retirement to seek enrichment through art and writing classes. She and her husband, Kenny, who's here today, enjoy spending time in their backyard garden, and she'll be traveling to Alaska soon to attend one of her grandchild's graduations. Lori will come up and is here now to share her poem, The Secret Pool.
This actually is not a recent poem. I had a scrapbook, so all of you younger kids that are writing things, save them. I had this in an old scrapbook, and I've taken it out once in a while. So it's got the angst a little bit of heartbreak when you're a teenager, but believe me, you will survive it all. Okay, so this is The Secret Pool. Down on the other side of the house, a path leads round to the garden, where thistle has outgrown the plants, and the earth has dried and hardened. You don't stop here. Keep on going. Keep an eye on the path ahead. Bend low for an overhanging branch, and then turn left where the clay turns red. Once you reach the split spruce stump, if you stop here to hear the wind, you can hear the brook that sang to me, and imagine how the water glistened. Now walk straight toward the lofty pine, some 20 acres to the right, and you will come to our secret place, which is totally hid from sight. The deer have left, the grass is flattened. You can see where I lay my head. And he lay down next to me, right there. And there was the magic in the words he said. Yes, it was beneath the pines. He carved his love into my heart. All we shared still lingers there, as fierce as a well-aimed dart. He took me easy. He took me twice. He took me for a fool. And in return, I took his life, where the brook becomes a pool.
Thank you, Lori. I've heard from, first of all, I want to thank Sue Bowman for being here. She's been helping me with the sound and technology. And she just mentioned that it might be a little hard to hear in the back. So if you just lean in a little bit as you're reading, that would be great. But everybody's been doing fine. But just lean in a little bit. Don't be afraid of the mic. That was great, Lori. Thank you so much. Next, we have Matthew Fort. I finally convinced him to read up here at the podium. Are you here? Did he leave already? You ran away. Matthew Fort is an English instructor at Central Lakes College and, quote, champion book hoarder. He lives in Baxter with his family and writes all of his first drafts on a 1950s-era Sears Tower manual typewriter named Blue. His short stories have appeared in magazines and journals such as Across the Margin and Beechwood Review, and now Bent Pine. Matt, thank you.
Thank you. I thought I'd start at the end and read it backwards to see if I put any hidden messages in it, but I think I'll just start at the beginning. When I was a kid, I took a trip with my mom to this family farm, and there were 2 90-plus-year-old twin sisters who had lived there most of their lives, and they were the last of their family line, and that was kind of the inspiration to start this story anyway. There are a number of twists and turns and strobe light effects and cannon fire, but I probably won't get to all that before Mark cues my music here. But burial dues. Cecilia answered the telephone, clamping the receiver against her good ear. I can't hear you very well, she said to the reedy voice crackling through the line. If it's urgent, drive out to the farm. Genevieve has baked coffee cake this morning. Outside, brow-shaped ridges of snow formed icy waves that flattened against the horizon. In the living room, 2 rectangles of buttery sunlight rested against the wall. "That was the sheriff," she said, returning the handset to its cradle, "though what he wanted I cannot say." "I hope Teddy's not in trouble again," Genevieve said, her gold-rimmed glasses marking the only visible difference between the 80-year-old twin sisters. "I doubt that, dear. Teddy's dead." "Oh, yes, I remember now. Teddy's buried in Oak Lawn Cemetery, isn't he, sister?" "No, Teddy's in Iron Hills Cemetery. Mother and father are in Oak Lawn." "What do you think?" Genevieve said, stepping back from a 2-foot-tall wooden Christmas tree that rested on the card table. She had glued so many fake rubies, pearls, and earrings to it that none of the lime green felt underneath showed anymore. "Marvelous. Now we just need some tiny presents to go underneath it." "Oh, good humor, sister," Genevieve chirped. "Good humor indeed. You don't think I use too much glue, do you?" "Of course not." Several marble-sized dollops of glue appeared on all sides of the tree. Cecilia noted a pair of her favorite earrings clinging to one of the edges. "You really don't think I use too much glue?" "Absolutely not. It looks perfect." When her sister shuffled into the kitchen, Cecilia removed a handkerchief from her threadbare apron and began blotting the most egregious spots. The sheriff arrives now. Sheriff Walsh parked his patrol car in the shoulder across from their mailbox. The driveway had not seen a snowplow all winter, so he had to step in partially covered tracks a delivery boy had made earlier in the week. He struggled through 20 yards of shin-deep snow, squinting as he took in the century-old farmhouse, the dilapidated red barn, the battered silo, and a line of rusted tractors and wagons parked along the field's edge. He apologized as packed snow from the soles of his boots missed the rug and spilled into the cracked linoleum in the entryway. "You sure don't see many farmhouses this old anymore," he said, removing his square-rimmed glasses that had fogged over. "No, it certainly is a treasure, isn't it?" Cecilia said. His normally pale and freckled face, now reddened by the sub-zero wind, made him look like a boy who had just come in from recess on a bitter Minnesota day. He brushed his black hair with one hand, exposing the sharp V of his widow's peak as he followed her into the living room. "Our Christmas tree," she said, pointing at the card table, where the center sagged under the tree's weight. "Though I cannot take credit for it, Genevieve is our artist in residence." There we go. Just like in Hollywood. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone.
I hope you two planned that. Thank you, Matt. You'll have to read the whole story. Burial Dues. It's in the book, and it's great. Thank you, Matt. That means a lot. Now, Deb Rosso, a labor and delivery nurse for 45 years who is working on her AA degree and certificate in global studies at CLC, is going to share an excerpt from her essay, Imagine the Unimaginable, about coping with the accidental death of her adult son, Patrick. She would like to be a teacher of English as a second language and enjoys knitting, fishing, and hunting pheasant. Please welcome Deb to the podium. Deb, thank you.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me in the back? Okay. First of all, I want to thank everyone for accepting me as a non-traditional student here at CLC. Everyone has been so nice and welcoming, and I really appreciate it. Brandy set me up pretty good for the reading of the parts of my essay, Imagine the Unimaginable. The initial gut punch you undergo when you receive the word that your 38-year-old son has drowned is undeniably physical and emotional. Patrick was swimming on a warm, sunny Monday afternoon. He drowned accidentally. He was found within 10 minutes, 10 feet from the dock, 10 feet of water. EMS arrived immediately, and they worked on him for 45 minutes. But they could not revive him. When I got the call about the drowning, I fell to the shop floor, a guttural howl coming out of the pit of my stomach. I want to give some suggestions that have helped me to survive the unimaginable. Will yourself to function. Functioning can be as simple as performing activities of daily living. Will yourself to get out of bed or up from the sofa. Move your body. It is easy as taking a small stroll or walking your dog. Will yourself to take a daily shower or a relaxing warm bath. Will yourself to eat. Your family or friends will undoubtedly bring food or meals to your home. Eat to keep your strength up. Will yourself to stay hydrated. Water will be your friend. Buckets of tears will come those first few days and weeks. A box of tissues nearby will be helpful. Will yourself to grieve. Let the tears come, let the memories come, let the guilt come. Be prepared in the first few days, weeks, or months for your child's spirit to come to you or pass through you. I felt Patrick's spirit pass through me powerfully in the first few weeks. Be prepared for the information you will receive in the coroner's report. In an accidental drowning, it is mandatory for an autopsy and coroner's report. There was no reason, no trauma, no stroke, no heart conditions, no drugs, no alcohol, nothing. I wanted a reason, something concrete. Patrick was a good swimmer. He was very physically fit. The coroner explained to me that most of the public is unaware that accidental drownings occur much more frequently than we realize. I had to be content with that answer. Allow yourself to celebrate a beautiful life. We had a magnificent service about 2 weeks after Patrick drowned. The service was in St. Paul, Minnesota. Patrick had lived in Ashland, Oregon for many years, but he traveled all over the world. He spent 2 months in Hong Kong, Macau, and Singapore. He made many trips to Mexico and the Caribbean. He spent several months in Prague, the Czech Republic, and Kyiv, Ukraine, before the war broke out. He spent 1 or 2 weeks 8 separate times in Paris, France. The reason he traveled so often to Paris is that he accomplished the feat of getting a full body tattoo from the neck down. It was a work of art. But Patrick's true calling was playing poker, which he did professionally. Of course, his favorite place in the world was Las Vegas, Nevada. Like I always said, Patrick never asked me for money. The after party was at Tavern on Grand in St. Paul. This was one of Patrick's favorite spots. We ate walleye and toasted Patrick more than once. We regaled each other with colorful stories of Patrick's life. Our family and friends took the tavern over until they closed early. My question to myself is, does closure ever come? I have felt a need in my soul to carry Patrick's story forward, to say his name, to talk about him with others. I have this need even to this day, 19 months later. I was not there when I never got to see Patrick after he drowned, but he had beautiful hair and soft dreadlocks. And I asked the funeral director for his hair, not just a lock, but all of it. I have crafted Christmas gnomes and used Patrick's hair for their beards. On the first anniversary of his drowning, I brought thank you cards to the 5 EMS units that responded. Patrick's longtime girlfriend, Katie, and I visited with Patrick's father. We threw flowers in the lake where he drowned. We sat on the bench that was donated by the Lake Association with a plaque commemorating Patrick. All of these small gestures brought comfort to me, but closure, I do not think it will ever happen to me. I miss Patrick so much and think about him every day. But Patrick, an ardent Bob Marley fan, might remind me, love would never leave us alone. And I want to say a special thank you to my daughters, Emily and Julie, and their husbands, my friends and family that have comforted me in this past 19, 20 months, and to my sisters from another mother, Shirley, Corky, Louise, Debbie, and Sandy Check. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deb. Deb is a student in my Composition 1 class, as is Lori, and it's been such a blessing working with you this semester. Following Deb, we have Molly Hancock. Molly, are you here? I don't think Oh, yay. Hi, Molly. You're here joining us to read a couple of paragraphs from a horror book you're working on. Is the whole book called Faction to a Better Future? Cool. Faction to a Better Future. Molly, your fiction was so enjoyed by the Bent Pine Journal team, and our sci-fi fantasy expert, Dash, was particularly fond of it. He really loved it, and we enjoyed reading it. We're excited to hear a bit read aloud from some fiction today. Come on up. Thank you, Molly.
Can we all hear me okay? Okay. So, I'm not the best at public speaking, so if my voice is a little shaky, no, it's not. So, like she said, hi everyone. My name is Amalia Hancock, and I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet because I know we've got a lot of readers today. I'm the author of The Faction to a Better Future, which, like she said, is a horror book. I've been working on it for the past few years, and I submitted the first part of the first chapter to the Bent Pine Journal, and I'll be reading an excerpt of that today. So the story is about a girl named Talia who begins working at a government faction that is trying to gather research on nightmarish monsters in a post-apocalyptic world. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy listening to me read it as much as I enjoyed writing it. My name is Talia, and I've decided to document and share my experiences while working at this job. I'm 24 years old, and I survived the end of the world, which many people would argue is still ending today. The day it happened isn't something I remember in great detail. You know how people will ask you if you remember where you are or what you were doing after a traumatic event took place, and most people can remember it almost as if they were right back there? I was just 4 years old, and I barely remember a thing. All I know for sure is what I've been told. Things weren't always like this. The cities weren't always walled off, and there weren't as many restrictions on travel. We had more contact with other countries, and there were a lot more people around. Okay, that's all I have for you today. But if you're interested, there's a lot of the chapter in the Bent Pine Journal, but that's it.
Thank you, Amalia. I am very honored to introduce our next eye contact reader, Jane Peterson, CLC's wonderful longtime volleyball coach, instructor, and yogi, who is retiring after this semester. She will be very missed here at CLC. Jane will soon be taking an Alaskan cruise with her husband, Keith, and a European trip with her sister, but also will continue to share her volleyball expertise with others, such as speaking at the upcoming Minnesota State High School Volleyball Coaches Clinic. She'll read Dear Volleyball for us today, and I hope you'll just read the whole thing, but whatever you're comfortable with, but you have time. Thank you, Jane. So there's a thing on social media. Usually it is athletes who are graduating from college or ending their playing career who are usually posting videos of themselves reading a Dear Volleyball letter. So this is my version of Dear Volleyball. Dear Volleyball, thank you for a lifetime of joy and struggle and frustration and pride. I've been a part of a volleyball team every fall since I was 15 years old. I've been helping coach volleyball teams for 37 years, 33 years as the head coach at Central Lakes College. My experiences with volleyball people and teams in the gym have defined who I am and how I learn and teach and communicate. Volleyball, you've taken me to different states and cultures. You've helped my family have something to rally around together. You've brought me best friends and incredible mentors. You have exposed me to other people, how they react and think and feel. You've made me feel connected to people in a way like no other. I feel like I'm me when I'm around volleyball people. You have definitely broadened my understanding of the human existence. Volleyball, you've helped me to be confident. You are where I have done some of my best work. I felt called to use you, volleyball, as an avenue to lead young women, to model and teach confidence, to provide opportunities so that people can experience the rewards of consistent hard work. Knowing there was a group that relied on me every afternoon in the fall taught me to prepare and plan. You taught me to put others first.
You taught me to take sincere pride in others' accomplishments. You taught me that everyone on the team matters. You taught me what dedication and sacrifice can result in, pure joy. Confidence comes from experience. I am confident that I have been successful because I put in the time and work and heart and soul into being a great volleyball coach. Volleyball, you've helped to teach me humility. You've often made me reflect on how I could have been better, to recognize that I cannot control winning or losing, to realize that I sometimes get it wrong. You've allowed me to experience disappointment and many, many opportunities to learn and grow. So many opportunities to be resilient and tough, to power through, to lean on others. You also taught me what lack of dedication and sacrifice can result in, an aching in my gut that I have been determined to avoid again and again. Volleyball, you've taught me to love people, to be kind and supportive when people are in need, to be nurturing and demanding, to balance high standards with deep caring. A coach loving a player is like no other relationship. Okay, I wasn't going to cry. I am so grateful to be a small part of one of the most important times in a person's life, the 13th grade, where young women are figuring out who they are and what's important to them. Volleyball, you've provided me a front row seat to watching and sometimes helping young women learn and grow into who they are meant to be. Volleyball, you've always taught me to want more, to never be satisfied. You are teaching me now that there is something else for me, some next phase, some other way to be in the world. Many people know me as a successful volleyball coach, but I've always been so much more. I'm a wife, a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, a yogi. I'm a leader and a learner. I'm a helper. Now it's time for me to reclaim the other parts of who I am, to lead and learn and help in other ways. I'm excited to explore who I will be without volleyball at the forefront of my life. Thank you, volleyball, for a lifetime of learning and growing. You will always be a special love of my life.
Thank you so much, Jane. That was a real honor. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we wish you a very, very happy retirement and a nice cruise coming up soon. Next, we have two more readers. Addison Gentry, a poet, songwriter, and honors student at CLC, graduating this spring with her AA degree, will read her poem, Do You Feel It Yet? Addie plans on attending the University of Minnesota Morris this upcoming fall, majoring in both psychology and pre-law. Addie, there you are. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So my name's Addie, like Brandy said. I wrote this piece last semester for my creative writing class, and I've since gone over and, changed a few things I didn't like at the time or whatever, but my inspiration comes from how realizing that some of the most challenging things I've been through have paved the way for some of the most important opportunities I've had in my life. It's wrote in the form of a letter and it's an exploratory poem, but I'm going to read it now. Dear reader, I hope this finds you well, but I am certain it will not. Perhaps you witnessed a terrible thing and are looking for comfort in between the pages of books. Perhaps you are stricken with guilt and looking for a justification in the lines and rhymes. Perhaps you are engulfed by grief and seeking solace in my words. Whatever the reason you are here, I regret to inform you that there are no pages, lines, rhymes, nor words to ease your racing mind. Do you feel it yet, all that despair? If you don't, then there is no point in further reasoning. If you do, then good. Out of that feeling will come your greatest story. Put your torment in a queue. It won't be quick like flipping a switch. It'll take time, as all things do. I know this isn't what you were hoping to hear, but you'll find tranquility in your blues. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Addie. So glad you did that. Thank you. And we're closing today with Andrew Stone. Andrew is a Faculty Selection Award winner today who is in the CLC nursing program. He enjoys painting and carpentry and plans to move on to Metropolitan State for his Bachelor of Science in Nursing. And from there, move on to join the VA Psychiatric Care Team. Please welcome our last writer today, Andrew Stone, to read his award-winning poem, A Sizzling Dream.
If I sound tired, I am. I don't have much to say about this piece, but I want to thank my professor for composition, Lori Beth Larson. She pushed me to present this piece. I didn't think it had any potential, but I guess other people enjoyed it. A Sizzling Dream. In the neon glow of a fast food sign, buzz, buzz, ver, ver, zzz, pop. Ketchup and grease build a shrine, a life forgotten with the swish of a mop. Here stands man's greatest monument, where dreams are served with fries and disappointment. Tired souls, weathered and worn, chasing the elusive dream since they were born. Beneath the neon gold arches they toiled away, flipping burgers, serving dreams on trays. In their land of plenty, where the gap grows wide, dreams were crushed and fried. The dream, a distant refrain, flickered like a neon sign in the rain. The promise of a better life, buried beneath the weight of toil and strife. Eyes on the clock, drowned in monotony, tick-tock, tick-tock, home a failed prophecy, only to mock. A house, a car, a family, riches a king can't afford. Life, a rock of calamity, they, Sisyphus, society ignored. Minimum wage, like crumbs on a plate, a bitter reminder of an unequal fate. As the cost of living soared to the sky, dreams like kites failed to fly. Rain fell on cardboard boxes they called home. Drip drop, bending like the walls of a catacomb. Here's where dreams come to a stop. They watch the city skyline gleam, a distant promise, a far-off dream, a sun setting so far yet so bright. But dreams could still shine in the moonlight. In the quiet of the night they held on to the fragments of a dream, though chance seemed gone. For in their hearts sparks remained shouting out, resilient embers that society had not stomped out. In the fast food symphony of sizzling fires, embers pop, snap, and crackle. People found strength in their silent desires, flames rising higher than the Tower of Babel. Flames of hope burning brighter than the sun, they rise above the struggles, dreams finally to be won, a light out of the never-ending tunnel. Like Icarus, their waxy wings had come undone, but now with wings born from embers and ash, their hope, like a phoenix, flies higher than the sun, to heights no house prices could ever surpass. Ponder now this beautiful flight, as unimaginable as it may seem, this modern parable in neon light, finding hope of an American dream.
Andrew, thank you so much. I haven't met Andrew before. I've been looking at his work for a long time, so it's nice to finally meet you and hear you read. That's great. I wanted to encourage you as you're looking at the journal. First of all, just a reminder, if you are in the journal, you get a free copy. We do have them for sale, and I know we had like a limit of one, but that's kind of a loose rule. If you want to purchase a bent pine, we encourage you to do that. They're $20, and they're available in the back. But as you're going through the journal, I just wanted to encourage you to read the writing and not just look at the art. You know, it's one of those things you just kind of pass over the writing, read the writing. There's great stuff in there, and read Amalia's story and read those essays and the poetry, and then, of course, absorb all the beautiful visual art. Thank you to everyone who has supported this project. Thank you, club members. Thank you to all of our art sharers and readers today, to all the students who submitted work, took a risk, and the faculty and staff who are involved too. That it really makes it special to be side by side. We hope that you enjoy the journal. I appreciate you being here today, and may you all be inspired by the art and writing of Bent Pine to continue to create and encourage the artists around you. Please also visit, if you can, the CLC Gallery. Walk down there after today's event. There's a new exhibit Casey Hochhalter's ceramics class is exhibiting down there, and we want to support them as well. It's beautiful, beautiful pieces. So if you can just walk all the way down to the east side, I'd encourage you to check that out this evening for Casey Hochhalter's intermediate ceramics class. That just came out, I think, today. We will now play the art slideshow again, and we'll hear a little music as you're heading out. Feel free to grab a snack on your way out and pick up your journal if you haven't already. And if you need anything, you can talk to me. Thank you so much for being here. That was great. I really appreciated everybody reading and sharing. Take care, all. Thank you.